The 1963 Indiana State Fair Coliseum explosion. On Halloween night 1963, what should have been a festive holiday on ice show turned into one of the most devastating accidents in Indiana's history. The Coliseum was packed with families enjoying the ice skating spectacular when disaster struck at 11 p.m. The explosion originated from a leaking propane tank that had been used to heat a popcorn stand in the concession area. The gas had silently accumulated under the bleachers throughout the evening. When it finally ignited, the blast was so powerful it lifted the entire seating section, causing it to collapse onto spectators below. The aftermath was catastrophic. 74 people lost their lives and nearly 400 were injured. The scene was described by survivors as apocalyptic, with seats, debris, and injured people scattered across the ice. First responders worked through the night, many of them haunted for years by what they witnessed. The tragedy led to major reforms in building safety codes and propane handling regulations. It also changed how public venues approach safety inspections and emergency protocols. The incident remains one of the deadliest arena disasters in American history. Perhaps most poignantly, the event forever changed how the Indianapolis community viewed Halloween. Many families in the area passed down stories of loss and survival, making the holiday a time of remembrance as much as celebration. The 2015 Bucharest nightclub fire. Collectively. The Colectiv nightclub fire occurred on October 30, 2015, during a free concert celebrating Halloween weekend. The venue was packed with young music fans enjoying a performance by the local band Goodbye to Gravity. The disaster began when pyrotechnics ignited acoustic foam on the club's pillars and ceiling. The fire spread with terrifying speed, aided by the flammable materials used in the club's decoration. In less than a minute, the entire club was engulfed in thick, toxic smoke. The human toll was devastating. 27 people died that night, and another 37 died in the following weeks due to infections contracted in hospitals. The tragedy exposed deep-rooted corruption in Romania's healthcare system and led to massive protests that ultimately brought down the government. The investigation revealed multiple safety violations. The club had only one functional exit, no sprinkler system, and was operating above capacity. The foam used for soundproofing was highly flammable and released cyanide when burned, making the smoke particularly lethal. This disaster led to significant changes in Romania's safety regulations and sparked a national conversation about corruption and accountability. It serves as a stark reminder of how cutting corners on safety can lead to catastrophic consequences.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more topics you love.
The 1997 Madison Halloween party collapsed. The Madison tragedy occurred during a crowded Halloween party at an off-Vensu's apartment near the University of Wisconsin. The three-story building's balcony was packed with costumed students when it suddenly gave way under the weight. The collapse created a domino effect, with each floor's balcony crashing onto the one below. Dozens of students, many in elaborate costumes that hindered their movement, fell through the cascade of collapsing structures. The costumes also made it difficult for rescuers to assess injuries immediately. The incident resulted in 2 deaths and over 40 injuries, ranging from broken bones to life-altering trauma. The investigation revealed that the balconies had been poorly maintained and were not designed to hold the weight of so many people. This accident led to stricter building inspection requirements for student housing across the country. It also highlighted the dangers of overcrowding during holiday celebrations and the importance of maintaining structural integrity in older buildings. The tragedy changed how universities approach off-premises housing safety and led to new regulations about occupancy limits during parties, particularly during high-traffic events like Halloween. The 2011 Texas Halloween highway tragedy. On a dark Halloween night in rural Texas, what began as a traditional family-friendly hayride turned into a devastating accident. A flatbed trailer carrying 23 people, mostly children in costumes, was being pulled by a tractor along a country road. The driver failed to notice an approaching train at an unmarked crossing due to the darkness and the noise of the celebration. The train struck the trailer at high speed, throwing passengers in all directions. The impact was catastrophic, made worse by the fact that the passengers were seated on hay bales with no safety restraints. The accident claimed 7 lives, including 5 children, and left the small community devastated. The investigation revealed multiple safety oversights. The crossing lacked proper lighting and warning signals. The hayride wasn't equipped with adequate safety features, and the route hadn't been properly planned to avoid dangerous crossings. This incident led to major changes in hayride safety regulations across the country. Many states now require permits, safety inspections, and specific routes for holiday hayrides. The tragedy also sparked discussions about the need for better railroad crossing safety in rural areas. The incident serves as a somber reminder of how quickly traditional holiday activities can turn deadly without proper safety precautions. The 1970 Detroit Halloween House Fire. In what became known as the Halloween House Horror, a Detroit family's Halloween party ended in tragedy when decorative paper decorations caught fire from a jack-o'-lantern's candle. The fire spread rapidly through the 2-story home, which was filled with party guests in costumes. The synthetic materials used in many of the costumes acted as accelerants, making the fire spread faster and burn hotter than normal. The smoke was particularly toxic due to the burning plastic from decorations and costumes. Many guests were trapped on the 2nd floor as the flames blocked the main stairway. There were unknown affairs at the time. The fire claimed 13 lives, including 8 children, making it one of the deadliest residential fires in Detroit's history. The tragedy was compounded by the fact that many victims were initially thought to be part of the Halloween decorations, causing crucial delays in rescue attempts. This disaster led to major changes in fire safety regulations regarding holiday decorations and costume materials. It also resulted in new requirements for emergency exits in residential buildings and stricter rules about candle use during holiday celebrations. The incident forever changed how many communities approach Halloween safety, particularly regarding decorations and costume materials. The 2012 Madrid Arena crowd crush. The Madrid Arena tragedy occurred during a massive Halloween party when over 1,600 people packed into a venue designed to hold 1,050,000. The disaster unfolded when a crowd crush developed in one of the main corridors leading to the arena's central space. Only one volunteered paramedic died. The situation became critical when someone set off a flare in the overcrowded space, causing panic. As people tried to escape, they became trapped in narrow passages. The crushing force of the crowd was so intense that many victims couldn't breathe. leading to asphyxiation. 5 young women lost their lives in the incident and dozens more were injured. The investigation revealed numerous safety violations, including oversold tickets, blocked emergency exits, and inadequate security personnel. The tragedy exposed the dangerous practice of overselling events for profit. This incident led to major reforms in Spain's event safety regulations and sparked a nationwide discussion about crowd management at large events. It also resulted in criminal charges against event organizers and venue managers. The disaster serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of overcrowding and the importance of proper event management, especially during holiday celebrations when excitement and alcohol can contribute to unsafe conditions. The 1996 California Halloween party calm paper reads, "The tragedy occurred at a Halloween warehouse party in Los Angeles, where organizers had set up an indoor generator to power the lighting and sound equipment. The seemingly innocent decision turned lethal as carbon monoxide, the silent killer, began filling the poorly ventilated space. What made this incident particularly devastating was how the symptoms of carbon monoxide poisoning, dizziness, confusion, and nausea, were initially mistaken for effects of alcohol or normal party fatigue. As the colorless, odorless gas continued to accumulate, partygoers became increasingly disoriented, making it harder for them to recognize the danger or escape. The death toll reached 7, with dozens more hospitalized. Many survivors suffered long-term neurological damage from prolonged exposure to the toxic gas. The investigation revealed that the generator had been placed indoors to protect it from theft and prevent noise complaints. This incident led to stricter regulations regarding temporary power sources at events and mandatory carbon monoxide detectors in entertainment venues. It also highlighted the importance of proper ventilation and the dangers of using outdoor equipment indoors. The tragedy changed how temporary venues handle power generation and led to increased awareness about carbon monoxide dangers at large gatherings. The 2013 Los Angeles Halloween hit-and-run spree. What began as a typical Halloween night turned into a nightmare when a driver under the influence embarked on a devastating 20-minute rampage through crowded Los Angeles streets filled with trick-or-treaters. Some people said they were the victims of the driver, operating a modified SUV, deliberately targeted groups of pedestrians, many of whom were families with young children in costumes. The dark conditions and the assumption that the vehicle was part of Halloween festivities initially delayed people's reactions to the danger. The spree resulted in 13 injuries and 3 fatalities, including 2 children. The brightly colored costumes of the victims created a horrifically surreal scene that haunted first responders for years. The driver's ability to cover so much ground before being stopped exposed weaknesses in emergency response protocols during high-traffic holiday events. This incident led to increased police presence during Halloween celebrations and new protocols for coordinating emergency responses during holiday events. It also sparked discussions about traffic control measures during trick-or-treating hours. The tragedy changed how many cities approach traffic management on Halloween night, with many now implementing temporary pedestrian zones and enhanced security measures. The 1992 Chicago hallucinated high-rise fire. The Chicago Halloween high-rise fire began when decorative cobwebs and paper decorations in a 15th-floor Halloween party ignited from a carelessly discarded cigarette. The fire's rapid spread was exacerbated by the building's outdated fire suppression system and the abundance of flammable decorations. What made this fire particularly deadly was its timing, occurring late at night, when many partygoers were disoriented from celebrations. The smoke, combined with the dark hallways and complex layout of the high-rise, created a maze-like environment that trapped many victims trying to escape. 12 people lost their lives, primarily from smoke inhalation, and over 40 were injured. The investigation revealed that many safety features had been compromised by Halloween decorations. The building's fire alarms had been partially disabled to prevent them from being triggered by party smoke machines. This disaster led to major reforms in high-rise fire safety regulations, particularly regarding holiday decorations and the maintenance of fire suppression systems. It also resulted in new rules about smoke machine use in residential buildings. The incident fundamentally changed how high-rise buildings approach holiday decoration policies and emergency preparedness. The 2006 Georgia haunted house accident. The incident occurred at a popular haunted house attraction when a hidden trap door malfunctioned during a performance. The mechanical failure caused several visitors and actors to fall into an unmarked maintenance area below the main floor. The accident was made worse by the dark conditions and fog machines that made it difficult for other visitors and staff to realize what had happened. The victim's screams were initially thought to be part of the attraction, delaying the emergency response. The accident resulted in 3 fatalities and multiple serious injuries. The investigation revealed that the trapdoor's safety mechanisms had been modified to create more dramatic effects, and proper maintenance checks had been neglected in the rush to prepare for the Halloween season. This tragedy led to nationwide reforms in haunted house safety regulations, including mandatory safety inspections, improved emergency lighting systems, and stricter rules about mechanical effects. It also resulted in new training requirements for haunted house staff. The incident transformed how haunted attractions approach safety and led to the creation of industry-wide safety standards. The 1985 Halloween storm bridges collapsed. During a severe Halloween storm, a historic covered bridge in New England, decorated for a Halloween festival, collapsed under the combined weight of holiday decorations and accumulated water from the heavy rainfall. Several vehicles were crossing when the structure gave way. The disaster was compounded by poor visibility and the fact that many of the victims were in costume, making identification and rescue efforts more challenging. The bridge's structural integrity had been compromised by the added weight of elaborate Halloween decorations, which acted like sails in the strong winds. 9 people lost their lives when their vehicles plunged into the rain-swollen river below. The investigation revealed that the bridge's structural assessment had been overdue, and the holiday decorations exceeded the bridge's safe weight capacity. This tragedy led to stricter regulations regarding decorations on historic structures and new requirements for bridge inspections before holiday events. It also resulted in guidelines for weather closures of decorated structures. The incident changed how communities approached the decoration of historical structures during holidays and led to improved safety standards for bridges during seasonal celebrations. The 2015 Colorado Springs Halloween shooting. The Colorado Springs Halloween shooting unfolded during a neighborhood Halloween party, when a man, dressed in tactical gear that initially appeared to be a costume, opened fire on partygoers. The costume aspect of Halloween created crucial moments of confusion, as witnesses couldn't immediately distinguish between a genuine threat and holiday theatrics. The incident became more tragic because many people, including children, approached the shooter thinking he was part of an elaborate Halloween display or performance. The party's spooky decorations and dim lighting created additional confusion, making it difficult for people to identify safe escape routes. The 3 people lost their lives and 12 others were injured in the shooting. The investigation revealed that the shooter had specifically chosen Halloween night to exploit the chaos and confusion inherent in the holiday celebrations. Emergency responders faced unique challenges as they had to distinguish between authentic injuries and realistic Halloween makeup. This tragedy led to increased security measures at public Halloween events and new protocols for emergency responses during holiday celebrations. Many communities now implement strict regulations about realistic weapon props and tactical costumes at public Halloween gatherings. The incident fundamentally changed how many communities approach security during Halloween events, leading to a delicate balance between maintaining the spirit of the holiday and ensuring public safety. The 2008 South Carolina Halloween party structure fire. The South Carolina tragedy occurred when a converted warehouse hosting a large Halloween party became engulfed in flames. The building, decorated extensively with flammable materials, transformed into a perfect storm of flammable materials. What made this fire particularly deadly was the maze-like layout created for the Halloween party. The organizers had constructed temporary walls and corridors to create a spooky atmosphere, but these modifications severely impeded evacuation routes. Many exits were hidden or blocked by decorations, and the emergency exit signs were covered to maintain the spooky ambience. The fire claimed 11 lives and injured over 30 people. The investigation revealed multiple code violations, including disabled smoke detectors to prevent false alarms from fog machines, overloaded electrical circuits from elaborate lighting setups, and the use of highly flammable materials for decorations. This disaster led to major reforms in temporary event space regulations and new requirements for fire safety in converted buildings. It also resulted in strict guidelines about covering emergency signage and blocking exit routes, even for themed events. The incident served as a wake-up call about the dangers of prioritizing atmosphere over safety in holiday celebrations. The 1963 UNICEF Haberclavius collection tragedy. This heartbreaking incident occurred when a group of young UNICEF volunteers collecting donations on Halloween night became victims of a series of coordinated accidents. The children, wearing official UNICEF collection boxes and costumes, were going door to door in a suburban neighborhood. The tragedy unfolded when several factors collided: poor street lighting, wet conditions from recent rain, and drivers distracted by Halloween activities. Multiple children were struck by vehicles in separate incidents within the same neighborhood. The orange UNICEF collection boxes, ironically meant to make the children more visible, were mistaken for standard Halloween decorations. 7 children lost their lives that night, and the incident devastated the community. The investigation revealed inadequate street lighting, lack of reflective materials on costumes, and insufficient safety protocols for young volunteers working after dark. This tragedy led to major changes in how charitable organizations conduct Halloween fundraising. It resulted in new safety requirements for youth volunteers, including adult supervision ratios, reflective gear requirements, and time restrictions for door-to-door activities. The incident transformed how communities approach children's safety during Halloween activities, particularly regarding visibility and street safety.